Hey guys, happy Wednesday. Sorry I couldn't do my live yesterday. Had a lot of stuff going on. My two youngest kids are traveling to Wisconsin. They should be there by now. They actually drove, which made me a nervous wreck, of course. But they took my car. I have a Honda Pilot, so it's big and it's safe and safer than the cars they drive. And they left around 1 o'clock, so it was crazy here as they're, packing up. One of the friends, they have two sets of friends, and they're both two sets of brothers, and they're the same age as my kids. They've been friends forever since we've lived here. And so some are already up there. It's one of the brothers, it's his family cabin up in Wisconsin, and they went last year. They flew out last year, and they loved it. But this year they decided they wanted to drive. So, driving is, if you travel any, like most of us do, driving is longer, but you can take whatever you want. You don't have to worry about, if your luggage is too heavy or whatever, and, you can get up and you can stop and you can, do all that. So they're there, and so I'm glad for that, because I was, nervous last night as we're going to bed, because it's 21 hours from here to where they're going, and they did it nonstop. So they left at 1 o'clock yesterday, and Wisconsin is an hour behind us, so it's 11 o'clock a.m. there, and so that's, with stopping, getting gas, food, stuff like that. So glad for that. Also had a refrigerator being delivered tomorrow for our kitchen. And when the delivery guys came in, he pulls up his phone and he shows me a picture of the refrigerator. It had a big dent in it and the freezer part. And I'm like, you could have sent me that picture before I unloaded my entire refrigerator now. Because we have a lot of stuff in our refrigerator. 5 people live here. We have a lot of stuff in our refrigerator. And so that... awful. And then we went to, because we got it from Lowe's, and then we went to Lowe's, and they're saying, well, it's not going to be deliverable till August 13th, which is, 3 weeks from today. And so we started looking at other ones, but I really like the one we picked. I guess it's really popular. And then, so it's just, we ended up ordering almost the same kind from Home Depot, and it'll be here tomorrow, because our refrigerator is, the freezer's fine, the fridge part is not very cold. So we have a refrigerator and a freezer in our garage too, so we've moved everything. So yeah, so crazy. But, and I just listed a whole bunch of stuff on eBay. I think it's like over 70 things. If you ever list anything on eBay, it's a project. I mean, it's, you got to take pictures, you got to weigh them, you've got to describe them, you've got to, it was a lot of work. So I was like, I got to do a live, because I didn't do one last week because we were in Georgia. So I came in my room and I made this card. So a little spooky card, and I had fun making it. So it's pretty easy, so this video is going to be really short. Okay, so let's get started. And I'm going to move my mouse so I don't mess anything up. So there, I can show it to you a little closer. A little bit of stamping on this, but mostly die cuts, and we're doing a lot of coloring. So, all right. What I got here is I got just a piece of regular basic white, and I've got, it's 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And what I did was, with the stylish shapes, I die cut the biggest round circle, of course every circle around, the biggest circle, I die cut it with just a scrap piece of paper. I tried this with the masking tape. The masking tape tears sometimes, because this gets pushed down quite a bit because we are using lots of ink on here. So I just found that this was a little better. I've got some temporary adhesive here. I have a link to this in my must-haves for crafting. And this is great for lots of things. All right, so what we're doing is we're making a moon, a big moon, because isn't that Halloween? It was funny. I was listening to music before I started this. I always listen to 80s on 8 on Sirius XM, and the song that was on when I turned it off is Somebody's Watching Me. If you know 80s music, I just thought it was funny since I'm doing a Halloween card. So use the stylus shape for that. That's all we used for that. And we got a whole bunch of ink here, okay? You ready? What we're going to make today is not going to look the same as this, because this is what, when you're using blending brushes and all that stuff, it's never the same. It could be similar, but never the same. I think I'm going to bring a piece of paper up here. This can go on the glass mat, obviously, because you can wipe off anything from glass. But since I don't want to have to keep cleaning it as we're going along. So, all right. So I'm going to start with Melon Mambo, and I'm just doing little swirls here and there. I have a video for this technique. I will put a link to it on my post about this card. And the other thing we're doing, I have another video on that, so I'll put a link to both of those. But this is just making kind of a night sky. You could just do like just the night of navy, but I wanted it to have a little more color in it. And this makes it actually a little darker. Well, actually you could just keep going, but I like the colors to show up on it. Okay, green. So that was Gorgeous Great. This is Granny Apple Green. Okay. And Pumpkin Pie. You could have it really, really dark, but I don't know. Pumpkin pie is pretty dark. Okay, and one more, and then we're going to do the Night of Navy, and we're doing the Night of Navy a little different, and I have a video for that. All right, I got 3 different videos for the techniques I'm showing you here. This is Daffodil. I have my iPad sitting right here, and that's why. Yeah, tons of stuff on eBay. Tons of stuff. All right, so that's our 5 colors, and then Night of Navy is our last. But what we're going to do is we're going to do it with Wink of Stella, and like I said, I do have a video on this too. What I've got here is I've got glycerin, and I dumped a whole thing of Wink of Stella in there. Okay, so you can see how it's all shiny, sparkly. So I got a block here. This is the H block. This is one I use for this a lot. First, what we're going to do with Night of Navy is we're just going to put some on the block. Might need more. And I have a blending brush that I use just for this. You can see I have it labeled Glycerin Wink. And this is, so I'll use this for other colors and stuff. I mean, if I'm going to, I want to make sure, you know, the blue is off if I'm going to use something else. And then put a little drop on there. All right. So what I do first is I pick up a little bit of the Wink of Stella and then the Night of Navy. Okay, so this is going to be, it's going to be dark. And it's going to make it so sparkly, and I love that. I'm getting it, of course, on my hands. And obviously the blue is going to interact with some of the green or yellow and make it more green, but I mean it just makes such a cool little background, and you can keep going over it to cover it more, but I just liked, dang, I used a lot of Wink of Stella. Usually you don't have to use that much, but I'm using so much. The glycerin with the blending brushes is really awesome. Anyway, it makes it go on so smooth, but adding that Wink of Stella to it just gives it such a little sparkle, makes it I like that background to have a little bit of those colors showing in there. You can see this is going to be a little darker than this one, but it is wet. So, oops, sorry, right there. All right, so there's our background, and I'm going to peel that off. Oh no, I did this the other time too. If you put too much around it, but because the Wink of Stella is wet, but that's okay. We'll see what it looks like. If not, we'll just start over. I wasn't paying attention, and when I did it before, I tried not to get the wet brush, right around the circle, because it goes in there. Okay, so back to Daffodil and Pumpkin Pie. We're gonna color. It might be okay. And then Pumpkin Pie. That actually kind of looks a little cool. I may just get another piece of paper and show you how not to have that happen. Okay, so that makes my moon. Yeah, okay, we're going to do another one. I got paper right back here. I hope my hands are dry. They're not going to get the ink all over it. 4 3, 5 3/8. Okay. Okay, so maybe this video is going to be a little longer than I thought it would be. Let's see. Yeah, I had too much Wink of Stella on there when I was right around this. All right, I'll just put, ooh. Let's see, is it still showing color a little bit? You know what we'll do? I'm gonna die cut another one because I'm afraid that's still gonna put some blue on there. Bear with me. Scrap paper everywhere, like old paper that's not available anymore. I keep that everywhere so that I can use it for practice. Okay. All right. I had a fold in there, but that's okay. All right. Let's try this again. Oh my gosh. Okay. I mean, it does kind of look cool, but it's, yeah, it just, especially when I'm showing it and I'm looking at it, oh my, how it looks in the video, it doesn't even look like a moon. It looks like, I don't know. All right. Here you go. I'm going to show you how to do this again. I do try to get the pinks and greens and stuff around the circle because the circle obviously ends up being, it's the moon, so it's yellow and orange. Put a lot of pink on there. That's okay. All right, green. All right, and then pumpkin pie is right here. Okay. I'm going to leave these open because I'm going to need them. And then daffodil. Okay. All right. I'm going to save those because we're going to use those for the moon. All right. Now we're going to do this again. I'm going to wipe this off. Use the other side. Okay, and I have these little bottles too under my craft stuff. I use that. I even have, let's see, I got a couple in here. I did this with it. I did glycerin with lemon lolly, the re-inker, and then this one is just, it's another one of Wink and the glycerin. So I have a couple of them. They're good for that. All right, let's try this again. Just a little bit. Get it around it when I think the glycerin is not oozing out of there. All right, this is going to look, as you can see, it's just, oh, but see how dark that was and see how it lightens up? It just starts to lighten up. I think because the ink is being absorbed in there. So that's why it lightens up, because it's wet and so it's absorbing into the water. And this is regular basic white. So, I mean, you could use watercolor paper or something, but you really don't need to. And I think that's cool. Okay. All right, let's see. Oh, there's one down there. Oh, there's just a little bit. Okay, that's not bad. The tree's going to cover up most of that, so that's good. Okay. All right. That's a little better. That actually, though, that turned out kind of cool too, but you could die cut that and then just put it on there, but I liked it to be as flat as possible. All right, so daffodil. We do have some blue in there, but that's okay. All right, daffodil. And some of that is going to come to the outside. You can see how I liked how it did that, how it made it look like it's shining out, you know, like the moon does when you're looking at it. Oh. All right, and then pumpkin pie. There we go. Okay, there's our moon. It's got a little bit of bleeding there, but it's not as bad as that one. So I got it so perfect with that one. I don't know how I did that, but we're going to use, when we start putting in all our little things, hopefully it will cover it all up. Okay, so we're done with the ink. We're going to keep this here for a minute because we're going to use it on something else. The paper I'm using, obviously basic white, and I got some basic black on there. I'm using the metallic, textured metallic. This stuff is really cool. And I did that for the house. That's from the Spooky Treats. And the bats were basic black. And the tree is from this. The Designer Series paper that has all these die cuts. And I've made lots of Halloween cards using this for my lives. So I love this. I love the tree. And you get 2 on each sheet, so you get 4 of them. Because there's 2 sheets of the die cuts and there's 2 trees on each one. So that's cool that you get so many. Oh, look at that. See, it's going to cover up most of that. All right, well, let's let this dry because it's still wet. I've already die cut everything. I already die cut the bats, but what I did to the bats was I put a little bit of Wink of Stella on them. You can see they're kind of shiny. We want to let those dry too. And I looked today because the Wink of Stella was unavailable for a long time, and it is now, so that's good. So that, and then for the sentiment, that is from, and I don't even have a stamp set over here, Fright Night. So I wanted to do the Eat, Drink, and Be Scary, but it's kind of small, and since everything on this card is so big, I wanted the sentiment to be, so you notice it. So I just used Happy Halloween. Okay, we're letting everything dry. So I'm going to do it, and I'm going to emboss it. Where's my white paper? Right here. Because I'm going to put coloring on the top of it. Using my embossing buddy. You can see how long I've had this. Remember, if you've been with Stampin' Up! For a while, the green, they did that. They changed that several years ago, but I mean, I've had that forever. Those things last forever. All right, so Happy Halloween. And we're going to die cut it with one of the die cuts that comes with the Fright Night. All right. I guess I need to zoom out a little so you can see what the heck I'm doing. Oh, and don't forget there's free shipping today, tomorrow, what's today? Wednesday? Today, tomorrow, and Friday. I've already got, we're going to be, if you're a demonstrator, we can pre-order from the mini catalog, the holiday catalog, early August, so I really want that stuff, but there's several other things, and now's like the perfect time. If you're a demonstrator or a customer, if you get cardstock, glue, that kind of stuff, stuff that you're going to go through, now's the time to get it, because you're saving 11% in shipping. You have to order at least $75, which if you like me, that's not hard to get to $75. Oh, it's hot. Forgot my... There we go. I could have probably stamped this also, like with Memento Black or something, but I wanted to, because I'm going to color over it. So here's the die right here. Make sure that's dry. Oh, I've made that mistake so many times. That's not even that sticky. All right, I'm going to just go die cut. I want to bring my big die cut machine over here. I'm not doing anything complicated. Okay. Got our cute little sentiment there, and I'm going to take this and I'm gonna go over it again. It's gonna look a little different, but it just gives it, because I didn't want anything full white on there. I mean, it's a Halloween card, you know, you kind of want it to be a little darker. So yeah, he's still wet, but we're going to go ahead and assemble it since we got all our stuff here. So a little bit of stamping, not a whole lot of stamping. Put the tree down first. Yeah, Stampin' Up! Has made their mini catalog around the holiday season later than it usually is. So I think what we're going to see is the Halloween stuff. You're going to see it. I think it's going to be online from now on. So this stuff is online, but that way it's good because now you can get Halloween stuff earlier because obviously Halloween's before Christmas. All right, I'm going to get my block because I want to make sure everything sticks and stays since the cardstock is still a little wet. It should actually that should make it stick better, but okay. Yeah, after I was working on my eBay stuff and I was laying in bed trying to go to sleep, and I was like, I need to think of something for live. And look at that. Isn't that cute? Not cute. I mean, it's kind of, well, it's cute. And I was like, oh, I could do a moon. I did a witch with a moon background many years ago. I'll put links to to some of that stuff. And I was like, I could do that. And I was thinking of the tree. I was like, oh, I could do the tree and the house. And just trying to cover up some of the bleeding. All right, so we'll add that in a minute. Let that finish drying. So you can see it's always going to look a little different. I mean, let's see, if you decide to make something like this and that happens to you, you could use the second largest circle in Stylish Shapes, and then you could just put it on there. But I liked it the background just to be flat, and then add some die cuts to it. But because the tree goes over it and the bats go over it, it was just easier if it's flat. All right, so we're putting this on dimensionals. 1, 2, 3, and then get some little ones to put on the edges. Okay. Now, free shipping is really good, and they've been doing it more lately, and I hope they continue to do that, because 11% is pretty sticky. Did I already take that off? I guess so. All right. Ta-da! And then I just got a basic black. I brought these over because I was like, what would it look like on Daffodil? It looks kind of cool, right? A little different. And then I got a pumpkin pie too, and that looks really cool. So you could do it. I don't know. I kind of like it on that. It's just a little different, but I just feel like it should be black. So just wanted to show you some different options for that. In the back of it, you can never turn these over and start over because the ink just seeps through and runs off the edges and everything else. Okay. All All right, there's our card. So see, a little different. Very similar, but a little different. See, this one's already lightened up too. So, and a little sparkle to it. You can't really see it. I know you can. I mean, you can on the bats, but on the background, it just has a little bit of sparkle. This one, I think I added a little too much of glycerin, so it won't be as sparkly as the other one I showed you, but it's got a little bit in there. And it just makes putting the ink on the paper, or that glycerin just makes it so much easier. I only have like a couple of these. I mean, you've probably seen, I mean, I have a blending brush for every color, and I'm starting to think, should I get one for every color with glycerin? Because I really like using it. And I have glycerin, the one that I use, I have a link to that too, in my must-haves for crafting. Okay, so there you go. I'm glad I did it, because I mean, all of a sudden when I'm like, my kids are leaving, and the refrigerator's being delivered, which it wasn't. What really made me mad about that is that he took a picture of it, because when I said I wanted to see it, they had to bring it out of the front of the truck, like that's right behind where they sit, and put it on a dolly and lift the thing up on the back and bring it down and take the box off. So they obviously saw that before they got to my house. So I'm like, why wouldn't you just send us a picture of it before you got here? I mean, I'm not kidding. Our kitchen has a big like kitchen island, and all the stuff from the refrigerator took up the whole thing. I mean, we have a lot of stuff. So hopefully by Friday we'll have one, and we're having our floors done on the top floor. We're having new floors put in, and it was like a month and nothing. So we went into Lowe's, and one of the products was back ordered, but nobody told us that. So they gave us a good deal on it. So that's nice. But I mean, I don't know, just not going so great. We got so much stuff going on, and we haven't even, nothing's done yet. So, all right, well, again, tons of stuff on eBay, and I'm really good on eBay. You can ask people who buy stuff from me. I ship it really fast. I answer questions. I combine shipping. I do everything I can. And I have a ton of stuff. It's all retired. Obviously I can't sell anything that's not retired yet, but I mean, I have a ton of stuff. And some stuff from like 10, 15 years ago. Lots of stuff that I held on to, and then it was like nothing, I always thought, oh, I'll use it again, and I never use it again, so I listed all that too. Just trying to clear out my stuff. So, okay, if you got any questions, let me know, and I hope everyone's having a great day. I'll see you in 6 days, next Tuesday, for the next live. Take care, everyone. Bye.